Welcome to Live in the Markets with Trader Nick. In this show, Nick will cover the latest market trends, whether they're rising or falling. Stick around to hear about trade ideas, latest news, and much more. Remember that trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Today's stream is made possible by our partners and sponsors. If you're looking for a new broker, trying to get funded, or looking for a trading community to join, consider checking out the links in the description below. By using these links, you'll get access to great products and be supporting the channel.
Welcome to my live streams where I take trades on real accounts, no nonsense, no fake MT4 profits. On my streams, you'll usually see me taking a look at software tools that we use to analyze the markets to try and get the latest market trends that are going on. We study things like the Commitment of Traders report, which shows us what institutional traders are buying and what they're selling. We look at seasonality to try and predict and find opportunities in the market based on historical data. Stay tuned for the second half of the stream where we'll bring in guests from all over the place to add commentary on what's going on in the markets. Good morning, everybody, and Merry Christmas to those of you guys who celebrate it. We are coming right on down to Christmas time here in the U.S. It is an exciting time. Only Christmas in the U.S. though. It's not Christmas anywhere else. It's just for the U.S. I'm just kidding. Merry Christmas to everybody all over the world. It's an interesting time, of course, of year for markets as things, and by interesting, I mean like really not interesting. Things have been pretty quiet, but we've maintained a pretty active week despite that. I took 2 trades yesterday. One on gold that went negative, ended up being a small loss for me. And then, of course, one on the S&P 500, which didn't start out so well, but it's sort of bounced back a little bit here. I'm barely in the trade. Price came down, missed my stop loss. So we're going to watch the S&P 500 here on the open as we get started today. It is, of course, 9:30 a.m. in the U.S., and things are off to a interesting start. We'll be taking a look at several markets today. I'll be covering positions that I am in myself. In fact, what I'll do is I'll pull up my S&P 500 trade so you guys can get a look at the profit and loss for the day. Let's see, where are we at? Where are we at with that S&P 500 trade? Let's go SPY. All right, trade. So I took a buy on the S&P 500, and you can see, we bounced back a little bit. We're up a little bit on this trade. I shared this trade within the private Discord group, and so if you guys are in there, then we're long the S&P 500 right now. That's what we're paying attention to. And by the way, I saw some of you guys were saying hello and good morning and Merry Christmas. So thank you guys for being here. It's been a heck of a year, man. We've had a lot of progress on the live streams, on the channel, within our team here in Atlanta. It's been a great year, and I'm looking forward to another one next year. So hopefully you guys stick around and join me. If you're new to the stream as we get going, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe, and we'll take a look at some charts, see what's going on. Starting out with the dollar here today. The dollar trying to rebound a little bit here, but still has major headwinds. Now, you can kind of see where I'm getting at with this. You've got a downward market here on the 4-hour chart, with each attempt to go higher met with a lot of resistance. And so as we come into the New York session here today, as we get started trading, question is this going to actually hold resistance and just continue on? Well, I would say most likely, especially in this time of year where things are not quite following through very well, it is very possible to just see a rollover effect and continue to see the dollar on its normal trajectory. Not a day that I'm looking to pile on a bunch of trades. If anything, I think it's a good opportunity to take some questions and talk a little bit about next year, prepping for the new year, how we're going to trade going into the new year. What are we looking for? And I'll tell you, January is a great month for a lot of returning traders, a lot of people coming back to the markets. We get oftentimes some New Year's trends, which can be really nice opportunities. So yeah. What happened to your gold position? I got stopped out on my gold position, took a small loss there on GLD. So yeah, I have no gold position currently. I do still have my S&P 500 trade, as I was just describing and showed on the screen. So you can back up on the stream if you want to see it. So yeah, a little bit of downward structure on the dollar. So when we take a look at things, I tried this Christmas mood. I don't know if you guys saw this on TradingView. It's kind of Christmas mood today, but I haven't seen it doing anything on my charts yet. Maybe it's going to suddenly there's going to be like a Santa coming across the screen. I don't know, or something like that. But yeah, so I'm looking at the dollar, but let's actually go look at some of the individual crosses. Here's the euro dollar, and I want to talk about this going into the New Year's. Once market volatility returns, I think we can be prepared. And looking at something like the euro, question is, are we going to break one way or the next for New Year's, right? This is very common. We get new year, new trends that occur in the markets. Sometimes they're continuations of old trends, but we very often consolidate going into the end of the year, and we start back in the new year with some volatility. So here's the euro dollar, where I think you're currently sitting in a pretty choppy range. And so preparing for the new year, we'll be paying attention to probably these two key levels on the euro dollar. If things go bearish and we actually break with some conviction, right? Breaks outside of consolidation can oftentimes lead to some beautiful continuation moves. So if we get a break and then you get that pullback opportunity, then we're looking for the short, right? Continuations, that sort of thing might be worth paying attention to. And same thing on the other side. If we get a break the other way, if it gets strong momentum to the outside, to the upside, right? You may get some continuation plays as well. I sent you a message on Discord. Please be very careful if you're talking to somebody on Discord that looks like me. It may not actually be me. I don't ask people for Bitcoin. I don't ask people for money. If you ever are talking to somebody who appears to be me, it is likely an imposter. There are many impersonator scammers outside or on social media all over the place. People are getting impersonated like crazy on Instagram, Telegram, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, everywhere. So please be very careful with Discord scammers. They are everywhere. And, we ban and report them as fast as possible, but there are so many of them. So we are constantly doing that. So just be very careful. But yeah, I'm not messaging. I very, very rarely DM anybody. I just, I don't really do that. The best way for me to communicate to people is just through YouTube, right? Or a tweet or something like that. Okay, so yeah, so looking at euro dollar, like I said, breaks one way or the other. I want to show you guys. Can I get you guys' opinion on stuff? We've got 235 people here. This is a great time of year for prepping for the new year, and I'm not making a sales pitch. I actually genuinely want to talk about this. I think if you're a newer trader, or this has been a rough start to your trading the last couple months, or you're not really sure what you're doing, I highly encourage you to take some time right now to step away from the charts, do some back testing. Let's take the holiday season, guys. I can go back 5 years ago. I remember what I was doing around this time. I was in college. I had some time off, and I was buried in the charts. No video games, no candy. Well, candy, but plenty of candy. I wasn't playing video games. I wasn't wasting time. I was glued to my computer, back testing concepts for hours and hours and hours. I spent my entire Christmas break 5 years ago, and probably 4 years ago, and probably 3, 2, and 1 year ago, just piled into financial markets, studying what's going on, back testing. So let me just give you guys a piece of advice. If you seriously want to become a profitable trader and you have some time, of course, spend some time with family. But if you have some downtime and you're just eating candy and playing video games, but you seriously want to become good at this skill, invest that time wisely. Again, I'm not trying to get you to buy something. I'm telling you genuinely, I think this is the best thing you could do for yourself. If you want to join our Discord, that is an option as well. That is my sales pitch. But genuinely, I don't think you have to do that. You don't have to do that. You can learn this stuff for free. That's why we have this YouTube channel here. It's a free stream that happens. Now, I want to ask you guys. So I'm doing it this year too, in a little bit of a different way. I'm not doing, I have strategies that work for me now. I've been doing the same stuff for years, but I'm still improving the software tools that I use to trade, which is, of course, the Edge Finder. And I want to ask you guys something. By the way, we do have a free Discord. Let me also throw this some free game your way. We've got a free Discord channel. If while you are still learning, if you're back testing during the holiday season, spend some time, man. Spend some time. Come join us in the free Discord. There's free stuff in there for you. PDFs on how to build a better trading strategy. There's so many things for you. Free game for traders inside of that free Discord right there. Now, let me ask you guys some feedback. As we do some tinkering and prepping for the new year together, let me ask you something. We have 2 COT smart money trackers. For those of you, this is really applicable to people who have the Edge Finder. What do you guys think is a better portrayal of the smart money tracker? I've made a smart money tracker 2.0, and I need you guys' thoughts. Option 1 is this. Do you like the standard way that we currently show the COT data? For those of you who have the Edge Finder, I want to show you the new simplified version that I've created. Smart Money Tracker shows you all the different assets and what institutional traders are buying and selling. So, for example, the oil market, they're very net long. If we take a look at the dollar, they're still very net long relative to the short contracts open. On top of that, you have the short side of things. And we also have some tables down here which show you the recent changes in longs, recent changes in shorts, things like that. But I made a second one, and I really would love to see what you guys think about the second one. I think, personally, it's a bit simpler. And Chandler, if you would help me with a poll on the stream, do you like option 1 or option 2? Let me know what you guys think. And I'd be very curious to see if you guys think this is better. But this is the second one. So going off of the major currencies, and I split it up with indices. And then I gave us this simple table. And I hope that this reads a little bit better for you, because this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make this a little bit more intuitive. This is the commitment of traders data that we've pulled into the Edge Finder so traders can see what institutional buyers and sellers are doing. Okay, so look at this. So if we look at the US dollar, what we see is that of the contracts open, 75% roughly on the long side, 25% roughly on the short side. And we take a look at the euro, we can see the euro, all the currencies lined up. Euro, 68% on the long side, 32% on the short side. And we can go down the list until we get to the most extreme sell, which is, of course, the CHF. Yes, CHF, which has a 87% short ratio to 13% long. And then I went ahead and I added this table here as well, which will basically show you all the information you need. So for example, right now, if we were to look at the euro, right? If we were to look at the euro in isolation, we can click this and we can look at it in isolation. The long contracts on the euro, 236 111,000. The short contracts, 111,000. In the most recent changes on the long side, they've decreased their number of longs, but they've also decreased the number of shorts. So it seems like there's an overall decrease in positioning going into the latest smart money moves. Might just be in prep for the holidays, right? I don't know. Just trying to illustrate this data a little bit better. And thank you, channel. We just had the vote shown up on the YouTube channel. So thank you for putting that up there. Let me know. I think that this one lays out, but sometimes I was very surprised by a recent poll on YouTube where I asked you guys when you like if I execute trades, and you guys gave me a 95% answer. So I really appreciated that feedback. And okay, it seems like 30% of you guys. So there is a slight preference to the new version, which I like. By the way, we also have the second set of stuff, which is indices and commodities. We could take a look at the most bought or most shorted assets. So gold seems to be on the long side with the S&P 500, the US 30, and the NASDAQ on the short side. So a little bit of short heaviness on the US indices. So there you go. Cool. Thank you guys for your feedback. I appreciate that. And again, yeah, I really think that having COT data is very useful. We had a lot of positive feedback in regards to the Smart Money Tracker recently. We did a poll on people who have the Edge Finder. So thank you guys. This is sort of an exploratory stream as markets are very quiet. We're talking shop, and I think that smart money tracking is a very important tool within the Edge Finder, and I think that the new one is also better. Excuse me. You recommend you can see both? I mean, it's basically the same thing. I don't want to confuse people by giving them too many things to look at, which, it gets tricky. I do like the way this table lays out with absolutely everything in it. That's kind of cool. But I figured it might be nice just to split it into two separate tables so that we can pay attention to what we're interested in. So if you're a currency trader specifically, you can look at the currencies and see what buyers, what big money is doing. Are they buying the dollar? Are they buying the CAD, right? And then indices, are they, indices and commodities, are they buying gold? Are they buying silver? What are they doing with the S&P 500, right? Etc. Good night, Nick. Good night. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate you for being here. Yeah, so I'm just doing a little shop there. As like I said, the markets themselves seem to be very, very quiet as we crawl into Christmas here. And it's like this every year. Every year, right around this time, things go silent. And every year, I like I said, I recommend this be a time for you to test your concepts, back test, practice your stuff, go through a free course, right, etc. Whatever it is that you think would benefit you best. Can support and resistance work in a lower time frame? 1 hour, 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart? Absolutely. Support and resistance is just market structure. Price action is pretty much just trying to recognize patterns within charts, right? So it's not really specific to only one time frame. Though I think that when you do get down to lower time frames, when you talk about the 1 minute chart, for example, you get some very erratic random spikes. Maybe someone just punches an order in, right? A big order comes through on a bank's floor or something, and it can cause some spikes on the lower time frames, which, I think get a little bit more leveled out as you start getting into like the 1 hour, start getting into the 4-hour chart. Things seem to get a little bit more clean, if you will. So let's see. Sponge says you inspire me a lot. Thank you for that. That's very kind of you. Can't stay long. I'm with family. Hey, that's awesome. Spend time with your family. That's great. That's what this time of year is for. We are here together on the charts, just sort of wrapping things up. Really, this is we will be back a little bit next week on the live streams. We'll still tune in, but again, I expect it to probably be a pretty quiet week. If you guys have any questions for me, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I'd be happy to answer some questions because, like I said, I can look at charts with you guys. We can talk a little bit about things moving, but let's go to look at the Edge Finder. You can see things are just quiet here. NZDUSD, the biggest up mover. USD slightly down. Is the yen? Are the yen crosses moving? Well, it might have had a little bit of movement here. NZDJPY, a little bit of action coming in, just not, not nearly what we are, what we've been seeing, early December. You had some nice moves going on. October, you had great moves going on. So yeah. Do you see candlesticks and take trades, Raj? So I trade both fundamentals and technicals. So when I take trades, I don't do so just because I see a candlestick pattern. Like if I see a pin bar, I'm not just going to say, oh, that's a pin bar, that's a trade, buy or sell, right? What I'm going to do is first, before I go to a technical chart, and I've done videos on this if you'd like to watch, how I trade. What I do is I use software to filter out my watch list. We go to the bias. I take off the neutrals usually. And what this does is it generates a watch list for me, right? So I get a watch list sent to me every morning by the Edge Finder. It is a game changer. I've been using it for the majority. Well, I guess, yeah, for like the second half of 2022, we've finished this software to the point of usability. It's been an awesome launch this year for my team. And I've been using this thing as my watch list every day, and it's been so helpful because what it does, it directs me in the, it points me in the direction of basically markets that have bias. And when I say bias, I'm looking at all these different metrics, key indicators or stats on particular assets that can point me in the direction of a buy or a sell. So for example, if I look at the commitment of traders data, like we've just been discussing, if I want to look at banks and institutions and see what they are buying, that can give me a bias. So when looking at USDCAD, right, let's pull up USDCAD and I'll give you an example of why USDCAD is considered a buy, right? So we can go look at the individual page on USDCAD and we can see why it's topping out the scales as a potential buy trade, okay? So let's look. So looking at USDCAD, COT data gets a +2. Why does it get a +2? Well, COT data is right over here. And when looking at the COT data, we can see that the US dollar is very heavily bought by institutional traders. The Canadian dollar is very heavily shorted by institutional traders. So this gets us +1 to buy the pair. And this one actually also gets us +1 to buy the pair because this is saying, oh, the CAD is short biased, the dollar is long biased, cross them together, it's like double jeopardy. Looking to be long based on that metric. We go down the whole list and the software automates this whole process. Seasonality, the month of December tends to be positive, the months of January, February, March, that stretch tends to be positive for this currency pair. That's just studying the historical tendency of this asset. Knowing all this information, I place a trade usually using my own technical analysis after I get a bias. So let's say I like the dollar CAD and I say, okay, yeah, this all lines up. It looks good. Then I go look at USD CAD on the chart. I like to use the 4-hour and 1 hour. That's where I'm most comfortable. And we can actually see it's kind of moving today. What I look for then is I look for trending markets. And the reason I'm telling you all this is because my strategy is not a secret. I don't I don't put it behind excuse me. I don't put, my strategy behind a paywall. I don't sell a course. I don't do any of that stuff. My strategy is pretty open. Now I do have a PDF version that is downloadable for members within our Discord. But my strategy is pretty straightforward from there. I'm looking for a market that begins to move with healthy conviction, meaning usually breakouts, right? Then looking for retests, the same old price action stuff that many traders use on YouTube, professional, retail traders, all sorts of people use this simple price action stuff. I think what people mess up on is they overestimate the ability of technical analysis. They think that just through technical analysis, they're going to be able to mix and match all their charts, get the perfect setup going, and print money from the markets with very consistent results. But in the reality, I think that fundamentals do play a part, and incorporating them has been very helpful to my trading. Looking for, the COT data to line up, and also looking for GDP numbers to make sense with the currency pair, favoring one or the other. Like combining all these different pieces gives me a more convicted reason to buy or sell an asset. And then I use the technicals to enter and exit. So I've said this many times, but this is my strategy in a nutshell. I use fundamental and technical analysis, and really this is how it works. Fundamental analysis, sentiment analysis, and technical analysis. I incorporate the trio into my trades. I guess there's more levels if you're talking about risk management and psychology and all that stuff as well. But what I'm looking for is for something to fundamentally and sentiment overall have a positive bias. And I get this from the Edge Finder. This is where my Edge Finder tool comes into play. I don't trade without it anymore. I never leave home without it because it really does automate that process to a degree. And then I can just get a bias from that. So if it says buy, then I'm generally going to be looking for longs within an asset. Then if the technicals are not ready or they're even bearish, I don't trade it. So this is, like I said, this is my strategy in a nutshell. I'm laying it all out for you. If the technicals, however, look bullish and they line up with my directional bias, I'll probably look to get long. So the idea is direction comes from this. Entries and exits come from this. Most traders, like I say all the time, most traders ignore this entirely and they try and get their entries and their exits and their direction from technical analysis. Is that wrong? I would not stand here and say I think that's wrong. I just think that that's not how I trade, and I've had success using the full picture. Getting direction here, entries and exits there. Does that make sense? Type yes in the chat if that made sense to you. I hope that it does. I'm trying to just explain why we use software like the Edge Finder to help filter for those sort of trades. Yeah. Nick, how do you deal with losses? Well, the first thing you do is you make them really small. You don't make them big, right? And it's all relative. For one person, losing $10 might be small, and for another person, that might be pretty big. It's all relative to you. But the first thing I would say is make it easier on yourself, reduce your size tremendously. Like take what you think is a small size and go way smaller. I mean, I guess 0.01 is the lowest you can go. But if you don't have at least, several hundreds of dollars to trade with, I think it's a tough game to play. I don't think $100 is enough to trade with. I've said that many times. Sometimes it ruffles some feathers, but I'm just here to give you my honest take. I'm a guy on YouTube. Don't listen to me if you don't want to, but I think you need decent capital size in this game and really small positions to really comfortably stay in the game. Baby pips for beginners. It's a great way to start. We also have a free course as well on our website, a1trading.com. We have a free course available that you can check out there. Let's see. I'm just reading the chat. Okay, thank you guys for the yeses. I appreciate that. I'm glad that that made sense. What are you trading on? I trade Oanda is my broker. The links, by the way, for my recommended brokers are down below in the description. Those are affiliate links. Don't use them if you don't like me, but if you want to support the stream, you can use the affiliate links if you're looking for a new broker. We have 2 down below. If you're in the US, I use Oanda. I recommend them because they are regulated. You know your money is safe. And if you're outside of the US, I also recommend 8cap, which is linked down below in the description as well. They support us on the stream, by the way. These streams financially are costly. The software, the internet, the studio office, all of that costs us money, which of course is free to you. And I want to keep it that way forever. So we have sponsors. So if you guys are interested in getting a new brokerage, check out 8cap on behalf of the stream. They're sponsoring us today, and it would really mean a lot to us here at A1 Trading putting on these shows. What do you think about USDCAD on upcoming news? What is the upcoming news? Let me go check that. Factory.com. GDP. So we had GDP today, which is probably why we saw a bit of a spike on the Canadian dollar, right? Came out as expected. U.S. numbers came out as expected, with core PCE price index numbers coming out, matching forecasts. Again, we're still sort of in no man's land. Like I said, going into the new year, I'm looking for some volatility to pick up. I'm looking for something to break out, right, before looking for continuation plays. We've just been very choppy across many crosses that I watch. Fit with Pete says, we'll go for ACAP with your affiliate. Appreciate what you do. Pete, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Like I said, we couldn't do these streams without sponsorship and without you guys supporting us through watching us, through sharing the stream with friends, hitting the like button. You know, it is genuinely free game every day for you guys. And we really, of course, appreciate that support. So, yeah. Let me see. Is there any last minute charts that we want to look at? GJ, Intensity is requesting GJ. So let's just look at GJ for him. GJ, I've talked about GPJPY a little bit this past week or so. I think GJ looks very weak, but only on a retest of resistance, which is far away. I understand. If you're a day trader, it might be a bit of a different story. Let's actually consider that. So if you're a day trader, if you're a swing trader, like I said, sells on retests more than likely are the only thing I'm interested in. But if you are a day trader and you say, okay, well, I think we could get up to those levels, but let's look at something shorter term first. The 1 hour chart, showing some healthy signs of continuation. Just because, by the way, just because I think that it's a sell in these areas doesn't mean that we can't see some opportunity in the short term. But again, you are trying to play with day trading right before markets go absolutely silent for Christmas. So I'd be very cautious with this. But nonetheless, price action wise, price trying to break through this previous high is going to be an interesting one to watch. If it does break, you might still get a little bit of a squeeze here with some momentum. But for day traders out there, like I said, breaks, retests, you still could see momentum just continue. We do have some higher lows going on. And like I said, I think the only thing to pay attention to or to be cautious is a possible retest of that higher time frame resistance, but that's far away. So you have room to play with possible longs, in my opinion, as we try to continue higher. And again, for 15-minute chart traders, looking for breaks above that previous high could actually be an interesting thing to watch out for, right? So you've got resistance there. And on the flip side, if you're a bearish setup would be the exact opposite, right? Looking for failure, looking for this concept to fall apart and looking to get into continuation sells. Both of those scenarios are not necessarily really stuff that I'm looking at, as I'm not really a day trader and would be very, very cautious, especially taking trades right before. Because again, when I say that, what I mean is it might just go sideways on you as things just go completely silent in the markets, if that makes sense. So, you know, stuff to think about, stuff to prep for New Year's. I hope that you got something out of the stream. Is a bit more educational, a bit more, you know, concepts that we discussed. So what we'll do here is I'm going to pass the stream on to our guest, who will take over the show right after this. Check it out.
Remember to check the description below if you're looking for a trading community to join.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Hello, everyone. This is Kenzo Xtrahot Forex. So, yeah, I'm just going to continue with the stream. So, today I'm just going to start with USDJPY. I hope you're doing great, guys. I hope you're doing great. Hello, man. Amos. Yeah, okay. So I can see people, they start to say US 30 place. Okay. So if it's like that, I will just start with US30. That's great. Guys, it's Friday. I hope everyone is doing great. I hope you're doing great. So let's start with US30 as you are requesting that. So first of all, I think it's much better to check the market on a bigger time frame. So I'm just going to use my 4 hours time frame as I'm a day trader. So 4 hours time frame, it's much better than the other time frame, especially on a day. I think a daily time frame for us, I think, is quite bigger, but it's still, yeah, sometimes we can use that. But I think 4 hours time frame most of the time is quite straightforward. So what do we see on 4 hours time frame? We see that the market was actually doing what? The market was actually going down. Do you see that? The market was actually going down. We had a breakout, and this area here, it seems to be like a retest, but let's just have to draw, we have to draw the proper lines. But these lines that I was drawing here, it's actually what you see before you even draw the lines. You see, oh, this thing is downtrending. So what do we have to do? Now we have to connect the lines and see what's really happening on the market. So on the 4 hours time frame, you can start from anywhere. If you want to draw your resistant lines, you can start from this area, or you can start from here. It's fine. So I'm just going to start from where the last area and going down. So we have something like this. Do you see that? So I'm just going to draw something like that. So I'm going to draw double lines because that area, to me, it's a zone. So it's not like the market has to respect that specific one line. So that is a zone. So now we have double lines like this. So I will try to zoom this so that we can understand what's really happening. So now you can see, or maybe somebody can say, Kenzo, use daily time frame. We can still do that, but I think we're still going to get quite similar structure. You can see that we drawn this on a 4 hours time frame. So you can easily see that we still get the same move on the bottom there. I don't think maybe we forced to draw any line, as we going to look forward for sell positions only. So now, as I drawn the resistance lines, I need to go back. Let me just go back on my 4 hours time frame. Let me just go back on my 4 hours time frame. So what's really happening here is the market was going down. I think everyone can see that from this area, the market was respecting these areas. That area is actually a resistance. But instead of the market respecting this area, we see that the market actually did what? The market broke out of that resistance, which was very strong because for quite some time, the market was actually going down. From this area, now the market is getting out. So let's go there and see actually what's really happening. Let's see what's really happening. So here we start to see that. Let me remove this so that you can understand why I say whatever that I thrown there. So here you can see that, okay, the market just broke out here. This was the resistance. Then we had a very nice retest. Then after that, the market was just moving like this. To me, before I drew the horizontal lines, I think this is just a clear ranging market. The market was just consolidating. So at the end of the day, mostly when the market is consolidating, we're going to draw horizontal. Sorry, we're going to draw support and resistance like that. Do you see that? So now it's where we're going to do what? We're going to draw something like this and see, because what I know is that is not going to be perfect, but we have to understand what's really happening. So I'm going to draw the horizontal support. You can see that. Because we also have diagonal support or resistance. So on top here, I will just use the last line here. I mean the last structure around that area. We will do it something like that. So yes, you can still touch maybe enough candlesticks, but it's better not to cut most of the structures or most of the candlesticks. So what I see here is we have a very nice consolidation move. Yes, sometimes the market won't be perfect. So the market is not forced to touch this area. It's not forced to touch this area or something. So currently what we have is we have the market actually consolidating here. But down there, the market actually, or before I continue, when the market is consolidating, or ranging, most of the time, the market is thinking, or the market is playing, where am I going to go after this ranging market? And mostly after the breakout, because most of the time, when the market is breaking out, the market most of the time will shoot up. This is a downtrend. Mostly when the market breaks, the market will start to push the upside. So if that doesn't really happen, the market breaks, but instead of pushing to the upside, the market starts to consolidate. Just know that mostly the market might change the direction, whether up or whether down. So it's better not to participate around that area, because the market is actually going up and down. Actually, we call that ranging, right? So now, after that ranging market, the market broke out here, pushed lower, came back again. Now it pushed lower again. So it means we have another ranging market. So what about our breakout? I think the market is no longer respecting that area. So the best thing is, let's try to remove that previous lines, because now we have a new structure. So what I'm going to do is, since the market is doing something like this, look here, the market is creating something here, we also have something here. So we have to mark this area. So now we have a support area there. So now it's like the market was ranging here, we have a breakout, and also the market is also ranging. You see, so it means now the market is doing what? I think the market is going down very slowly, but it's not aggressive. The market doesn't really have that momentum. When the market doesn't really have that momentum, we will see it sometimes by just ranging, going up and down. But after we have something, after the market gains that momentum, we'll see the market maybe pushing lower or maybe up. So the question will be, which direction will you take? If maybe you see stuff like this? So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to limit this to here. I'm just going to follow what I see. If the market breaks this support, I'm going to take a sell. You see that? Why? Because the market seems to be trying to push lower. I think the market wants to continue with that bearish move, because here, this was actually after the breakout of that downtrend. We thought maybe the market was going to push up. Now the market broke out of that with this support. So it seems like the market wants to continue going lower. So what we can do is, let's wait for the market to break this support, and then we can take that sell. Plus, now it's that time, there is so many holidays, so I don't think the market will be just going very fast like that. I'm expecting the market just push slower. So I hope everyone is doing good. GU. Okay, GBP USD. Okay, I will also check GBP USD. So let me, as I started with US30, I think it's much better for me to do what? To also check actually NASDAQ. So what I will just throw something like this. So now I'll have to push straight to NASDAQ before I go to GBP USD. Then after, I will go to gold and the other ones. So if we check gold and NASDAQ, they actually move in a quite similar way. And it seems like actually the market will close on a sell. This year, I think the market will be closing on a sell or on a negative. Actually, stock market. So what's really happening on NASDAQ? We are still on bearish, as the market actually touched our resistance area. Our resistance line is there. So after that, we see that the market started to do what? To push lower and lower. But because we don't really have that aggressive momentum, the market will change the direction along the way. And mostly we have the support, resistance, the supports and stuff like that. And when we look at our left, we will always find something. And it's not actually good just to check on your left area, because there are so many structures that at the end of the day, they're going to confuse you. So it's better to wait for the market to create something for you. then you can connect with that. So for now, for me to say I need to sell, I will wait for the market to break this support. Then I will continue selling. Plus, on Nasdaq, actually, we are on a downtrend. So it's better, maybe let me show you again just to understand what's really happening. So on Nasdaq, we have a structure like this. We have a nice downtrend like that. So which means we have to look for sell positions or bearish positions, because the market is still seriously pushing lower and lower and like seriously strong. So it means most of the time we need to look for what? For sell positions, and we have to check there what's really happening. So yeah, so let me check something. Let me check. So let me check GBP USD. Let me check GBP USD. USDJPY. Okay, also that. Okay, now we are on GBP USD. I saw other guys, they say we should check that. So what's really happening here on GBP USD? I think I was doing this actually earlier in the morning. So once I did check this, and on a bigger time frame, I start to see that, you know what, GBP USD was actually on a very nice downtrend. The market was downtrending. And here, after that, the market was aggressively pushing to the lower side. Do you see that? So it means that from this area, the market was like seriously aggressive, but it doesn't mean that since the market moved out of that area, it means like the market is out of that bearish momentum. The market is still on that bearish momentum. Do you see that? The market is still on that bearish momentum. So which means we just waiting for the market to reach this area again before we say maybe the market is going to push the lower side. Yes, we can still buy around these areas, but that will be like hit and run. You can't hold that longer because the market can turn anyway. You can easily see that the market is doing what? We have a nice, very strong resistance from this area. Then here we have aggressive sell. Then after the market reached the lowest area, it seems like the market tried to do what? To start to push the upside from this area. So if we try to go there, we will see what's really happening. Let's go closer. Let me remove this. When we go closer, we're going to have a very nice very nice actually small uptrend, actually a counter trend line, which actually is a trend line inside another trend. You can have like a bullish momentum inside a bearish momentum. The outer resistance there, the outer momentum or the stronger one there, is the market is actually going down. But inside here, we start to see that the market is trying to push the upside. And mostly, once the market touches this area as an outer resistance, the market can respect that and start to push the lower side. So I think maybe the best example is to do something like this. Mostly it's something like this. Is we have a downtrend. Do you see that? So mostly the market will push and respect that downtrend, but along the way the market start to create something like that. So when something like this happens, we don't say now we are on an uptrend. Remember, we have a downtrend here. So after the market touches this area, the market can continue going lower and lower, something like that. Do you see that? So this is what we have currently. So now we have something like that where the market is actually doing what? It's pushing to the upside, but we know very well that we are still on a downtrend. So the market is trying to recover. Once we reach there, we're supposed to be careful when the market touches that area. So if we go closer, we will see that, yes, the market actually reached an area where we call it a support area. You can see that along the way, we were supposed to identify where we're supposed to do what? where we're supposed to buy. And those areas, mostly they're going to be what? Support areas. But now the market actually went down towards our support area, which means we're supposed to do what? We're supposed to look for buy because it's our support area, which means mostly the market will do what? Will respect that area. Yes, there is a chance for the market to break that. There is a chance for the market to break that. But for now, we easily see that the market was creating a structure, a very nice structure. So it means even though we know that we're supposed to buy, we can't buy here. Why? Because the market is creating a structure. We see we have a resistant structure there. So for us to buy is going to be like seriously risky. You can't buy here when the market might bounce back there. So it's better to wait for the market to break this structure. Then above that, you can say, you know what, it's our time maybe to buy. So we can have something like that. It's a buy pending order, or maybe you can wait and say, okay, if the market breaks that area, I'm going to have a very nice buy like that, because this structure here makes sense and they connect very nice. So we can't just buy because the market can still sell. I mean, the market can still push lower. So we have to wait for a breakout. So, okay. Yes. So GBP, I think, yes, for me, I think maybe the market can still push lower, but I can't just jump on that. I think the market has to break this smaller counter resistance there before we say we jump on that. But for now, I think, yeah, it's good. You can just call it a long, whatever. But I think, yes, as long as you understand that, I think it's much, much better. So, yeah, you know what? We had gold, and you know what? Gold actually closed us out of the trades. So what's really happening here is we can see that the market is actually doing what? The market is actually pushing to the upside. And if I check here, you will see that the market is actually on an uptrend, which means I'm supposed to do what? Currently, while we are here, I'm just going to show you something, then so that you can understand what I am talking about. I'm taking some few trades also. Because this is what we do actually. This is what we do. We also have to take some few trades while we are here. Don't just say, Kenzo, the signals that you give us, are you taking them? Yes, are we taking them? So yeah, we have something like this. So on a bigger time frame, actually on a 4 hours time frame, we can easily see that the market is doing what? The market is pushing up. The market is actually on an uptrend. We have a very nice uptrend like this. So we're expecting the market to do what? To keep pushing to the upside. So earlier, actually, I did send this signal, but I think my stop loss was very close, because the market, I think, did turn lower again, but it's fine because we placed another one. So, but what's really happening? Let me remove this so that you can see what's really happening before we draw even the lines. You can see actually what's really happening. So you will see that since the market touched our lowest area, which was a support area, the market started to do what? To push to the upside. So for us to know where we're supposed to buy, we have to have a structure, and that structure is going to help us to understand that, okay, this trend is continuing, or maybe the market is no longer following the trend. I hope you understand that. So now I'm just going to try to zoom there to see actually what's really happening. I think before you even draw, already you saw that, but before we even draw, I hope you can see that the market is moving like that. Before you even draw the lines, you will see, oh, the market is respecting these areas. So there is enough chance that even here, the market can do what? The market can push up. There is enough chance that the market can still push up. Do you see that? So what we're going to do is, we're just going to do what? Try to draw our lines. Very nice. I see someone say Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I think we left with few days for the Christmas. So yeah, Now we have our nice support area here. This is just a straightforward support area. So what's really happening? We can easily see that, oh, the market is pushing up, and very nice, because we can see that the market is actually doing what? The market is actually pushing to the upside. Now our job is to find the areas where we can do what? Where we can keep buying, where we can actually buy. And on this structure here, it seems like mostly the market comes back very closer to our 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 support, and actually it's where we're supposed to do what? It's where we're supposed to buy. Do you see that? So it means every time when the market comes there, it's where we're supposed to do what. But I think it's also much better to have your entry strategies. You're supposed to go on a bit smaller time frame and try to see what's really happening here before we buy. So for now, I think we can do that together. Let's go on 15 minutes. CAD CHF, okay, that's great. We'll also check that. We will also check that. We'll also check that. So now, as my entry strategy is actually on 15 minutes, we can easily see that, oh, the market actually touched our area here. This is support area. Now the market came back again. It seems like it wants to push the upside. So what's really happening is, I think we had a sort of an area there, a resistance area. Do you see that? Let me try to zoom that. You will see. We don't really have to force these areas. I think we have something there where the market actually tries to break, but it seems like the market is struggling. So, but if the market gets out of this area, we can have a very nice buy above that. Or if maybe, unless if maybe you entered very early, but mostly the market start by consolidating around this area before we see the market shooting to the upside. I hope you see that. I hope you see that. So now I'm expecting the market to do what? To keep pushing to the upside. I can say, okay, the market already moved away from my support, which shows me that the market is actually doing what? It's respecting that support area. And like this, it's where I'm going to say, around that area, it's where I'm going to take a very nice buy and go into the upside. Do you see that? I hope you see that. I hope you see that. So yeah, if maybe you're satisfied with that, that's great. So let's go to we have AUD-CAD and CAD CHF. So let's see which one do we get here. Which one can we get? Oh, someone said we should also check USDJPY back there. I did not forget. Since it's here, I will just try to go there before we go on CAD, CHF, and something like that. So, firstly, as you know, I'm just going to go on 4 hours time frame. Let's do auto. So, USDJPY, UJ actually. What's really happening? I'm already done with the analysis, but you can easily see that the market is doing what? The market is on a downtrend. Or maybe I can say, why not we just do this together? Because by doing that, it will help you to also apply the same method on other pairs. So firstly, this is 4 hours time frame. You can easily see, before you even draw any line, you can easily see that, you know what? I think the market is starting from this area, going down like that. That is actually a downtrend. So by doing that, now you know that you are going to look for what? For sell positions only. Your job now is clear. You're no longer going to confuse yourself with buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. No, now you know that I'm just going to look for what? For sell positions only. You start from this area, going down very nice. We don't really have to cut enough candlesticks. You see, this is USDJPY. Let's draw another line. This is a zone, remember? So now we have our zone there, dotted line, so that the market can actually move through. Some few candlesticks, they can move around that. So now we have a downtrend like that, a very nice downtrend. So now our job is to know where we're supposed to sell, because now we see that this is actually what? It's actually a downtrend. So can we know, or can we identify areas where we're supposed to sell? Yes, because those areas are actually the resistant areas. These areas are the areas where we're supposed to do what? Sell. But yeah, you can also throw even the support areas. Support areas. You can see once you start to draw that, it makes your job very easy because we have to do what? Sell where we have our resistance, where the market touches our resistance. And remember, we don't just sell, we apply strategies, a entry strategy, your entry strategy on that, you see. So let me just try to draw that. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to identify where the market is making some formation where it seems like it's a support or resistance. I will start from on top here. We see something like that. We're starting from on top going down. This was going to be another sell because we can see we have a breakout here. So it means the market was going to do what? To sell. So let's see. Around here, I see another one. Another one here. You have to practice these things, guys, so that you can see the structures. Some maybe they are surprised when I'm identifying the structures because maybe you were not aware of those structures. Now we see that, oh, we actually have these structures, and if you were not aware, it means you missed those structures. So this is what we have currently. Maybe on the bottom there we can have something like this. So mostly the market does what? This is how the market moves. The market moves like this, guys. The market moves like this. The market consolidate, sell, consolidate. But at the end of the day, the market is doing what? It's going down. Consolidation. Do you see this? Consolidation, sell, consolidation, sell, consolidation, sell, consolidation, sell, something like that. If you understand that, most pairs they just move like that. You see. So now currently we have what? We have creating some sort of a a resistance. I think it was here earlier. It seems like the market is getting out. So it means maybe the market wants to do what? Wants to push to our resistance before we have a sell. Do you see that? So now I think the market, but the reason is we are still on a downtrend. Whatever that happens here, it means maybe the market is going towards our resistance before going down again. So it means it's going to be something like this. Let me try to zoom this out. It's going to be something maybe like this. Something like that, because this might continue this until we get a breakout. But for now, we are still on a downtrend. I hope maybe you see that. I hope you see that. Please check USDCAD. Thanks, Yummy. Thanks. USDCAD. Okay, I will check that. USDCAD. You can also remind me which pairs do you want me to check? USDCAD. Okay. Let's check USDCAD. So remember, if maybe you don't really have maybe some background with this, maybe let's say USDCAD, the first thing that you can do, or the best thing that you can do, is to try to check this on a bigger time frame. So we can do something like this, maybe a daily time frame, just to understand what's really happening. On a daily time frame, this is big, guys. So you can easily see that, oh, the market is actually pushing to the upside. So now, if you can see that, your job is to do what? To know where you can throw those support line or resistant line, because now you can see that we have an uptrend. So where are where is this structure connecting? We have to know where are these structures connecting. That's why we draw the support and resistance, because we have to know where we have a potential for what? For a buy or a sell. So let's go on our 4 hours time frame. What's your thought on Euro USD? and AUD USD. So I will check that after this. Let me finish this. So what's really happening here is, since we identify that USDCAD is actually on an uptrend, it means that we're supposed to look for buy positions only. It means we have to understand where the market is going to find the support area before we say maybe we buy or something like that. So we're going to have something like this. Currently, I think this is not actually valid. So what we can do is, we see that the market is doing what? Is pushing to the upside. So it's better for me to go closer. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about this area because already it's old. So let me focus on this area. But we know that we are actually on an uptrend. So let's go closer. So when we go close, we see that I see another formation which pushes like that. Do you see that? We see the market is going up like that. Do you see that? So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. So I see a very nice formation there. I think I can connect these points. These points. Do you see that? So let me do that. Let me try to connect, and they make sense. Do you see that? I think they make sense. Do you see that? And this is 4 hours time frame, so it means, yeah, it's actually valid. It's actually valid. So now we have a structure like this. We are on a very nice uptrend, and what I like is the market has been respecting this area for quite some time. So, but on top there, I think we also have something like a horizontal resistant. On the bottom side, we have something here. So let me draw that so that we can see what we are working with here. So we have something like that. Around here, we have an area, a zone. I guess you see that zone. I think the market is making something around that zone. But as we don't really have to cut so many candlesticks, I can just push it a little bit lower like that. But we have a diagonal support, which means I'm expecting the market to respect this area and push up, something like that. And that forms a sort of a wedge. But what I've realized is, with the market like this, there is a chance that the market can still break this area. The market can still break this area as a support and come back and respect this horizontal one. So we also have to look at that. If the market breaks here, we don't just jump and say, oh, the market broke out of our support. We can actually wait and see if maybe the market is going to respect this area before we say maybe it's a sell. Because there's a chance for the market to continue with this ranging and then continue to the upside. But yes, I'm actually bullish on USD Canada. So yeah, Ali Halak Kenzo is amazing in explaining. Thank you very much. I have to subscribe to his channel. So thank you very much, guys. So let me check. Something. You said I must check. It's what? It's AUD USD. AUD USD. Where is USD AUD? Ah, come on. I did think I don't have that. Let me check something. Whatever suggested USD CAD, as you enjoy it. Okay, let me search AUD. I don't see it here. Seems like I don't actually do the trade AUD. AUD what? USD. Sorry guys, sometimes I actually mainly I trade Nasdaq. I trade Nasdaq most of the time. So I don't actually mix currency pairs and all these things. I actually trade gold and Nasdaq. I do the analysis for other ones, but I focus on actually very few instruments. So now we are actually on AUD USD. What's really happening? I think the market was actually downtrending. Or the best thing maybe that I can do is to let's try to see this on the daily time frame. So I'll try to zoom this. So I think the market from back there, the market was actually going down. So we are actually on a downtrend. It means that the dollar was like seriously very strong. You can see the market was going down. So the best thing that you can do is, yeah, it's fair. It's better to then go back to our 4 hours time frame and see actually what's really happening. It's Friday, guys. Don't forget to tell me maybe on a comment what's really happening. GBP please. Oh, you said AUD not AUD. Or let me just finish this, then I will go on that. So what's really happening on AUD? We see that the market was doing what? The market was going down. So let me try to connect this as fast as possible. I can see people, they want other pairs. They want other pairs. So let's see if maybe if I connect this, will this make sense? I think they make sense. Okay, let me just stop here. I think the market is still actually on that downtrend. I might be wrong, guys. Everyone can be wrong on the market. So, or the market can just surprise us. So, what's really happening here is just the analysis. So, yeah, now we have something like this. But I think this is a nice downtrend. Why? If you know the higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, or lower low, lower high, you will see that the market started here going down, now down. You see, the market is. Do you see that? So, which means the market is still under that downtrend. The market is still downtrending. So let's go closer there and try to see what's really happening. I think maybe I showed you already. So now our job is to do what? To find a way here. What are we going to do? We have to understand where we're supposed to do what? We're supposed to sell. I think around this area, it was a very nice place to sell. We had a very nice area. You see that? We're just going to draw this. When the market is pushing up, once the market breaks that, actually on a smaller time frame, by the way, once the market breaks that, obviously, we were just going to do what? We were going to look for a sell here. When the market comes back around this support area, we're just going to continue with the sell. But now the market is creating this actually a ranging move, which means you're supposed to just identify those areas. And once the market breaks, you're going to take a trade, but we can say a sell trade actually. I think my screen is just turning off and on. Yeah, something like this. We're going to do something like that. So what's really happening is we just going to do something like the market is doing what? It's consolidating or ranging. So our job is to wait for the market to do what? To break this area and sell below this. Yes, since we are on a downtrend, you can also take a sell when the market it's reaching this when it's respecting this area. Once it's starting to bounce back, you can take that sell. Or maybe let me just make it like this. Yeah, I think our time is going very fast, guys. I think around six we have a load shedding. So AUDCAD, please cancel. Okay, let me check AU Canada. AUD Canada. AUD. I think I had that. Come on. Okay, let me check AUD Canada. AUD card. I will use Wanda. AUD Canada. Yeah, so I think this will be the last pair that I'm going to do. I think around 5 o'clock we're going to have actually a load shedding. So firstly, I think okay, I did analyze this before. You can see the lines here. So what do you see? Firstly, let's use daily because I think on 4 hours I still don't see nicely what's really happening. So on a daily time frame, I think I see something. I think I see something. Do you see that? Do you see that? I think we have something like that. So I think the market might be on a downtrend. So let's try to connect them and see if maybe they make sense. So once you understand the trends, I think it makes your job very easy because you're just going to look for what? For sell position. I'm going to start from where we are now and going back. So we have a structure like that. I can even push it back like that. It's fine. So now we have something like this. Something like this. Now we are actually, or let me just try to push this a little bit lower, just for you guys to understand what's really happening. So now you can see that actually the market is doing what? The market is actually on a downtrend. On a downtrend. And we now see that because the market touched this area and then the market is pushing down. Do you see that? And again, for those who use lower low, lower high, you can see that here it was a lower high, lower high, lower high. They moving smooth. Do you see that? Still going down. This is a downtrend. You can see even on the bottom there. You can even draw that, but I don't really like to use the bottom line because I'm not going to buy, but just to know where maybe the market might bounce back. So now we have a nice structure like that. If we go closer there, we will see that, oh, the market actually, after touching this resistance, we saw aggressive sell. This is a day time frame, by the way. I think I have to go on a 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame. I think we have to have something like this. After the breakout there, you were just going to jump on that. Maybe you can even push it lower. No, I think it's fine here. As long as it connects with enough structures. Do you see that? So yeah, I think the market, after the market actually created a very nice bullish move, even though we knew that we were on a downtrend, after a breakout here, if maybe you were afraid to take a sell around this area, we're just going to jump on it here. You can see that if you had something like this, if you understand what you're doing, you were just going to have something like this. No, it was going to be a very nice one. I don't know where your take profit was going to be, but this is a 4 hours time frame. Obviously, you were obviously eating. You were just going to be like you're going to eat. So yeah, for now, I think the market can still push lower like that, but obviously the market will just consolidate until it reaches this area. It might take a month or maybe more than that, or maybe less. We don't know. So yeah, I think that is enough for today. We left with okay. Let's complete this with gold. I see someone say, "Let's check gold." I hope gold is going up. Gold is pushing up. So, but we already did gold, guys. We already I already showed you what's really happening on gold. So what's really happening is, yes, the market is actually doing what? The market is actually uptrending. Do you see that? So it means now I'm not actually. I don't really like to draw this double lines like this, but I'm just showing you just to understand that this thing is actually pushing to the upside. The market might reject here and there, but at the end of the day, the market is doing what? The market is actually pushing to the upside. Do you see that? So I'm expecting the market to push the upside. Plus, if we go closer there, let me just use maybe a smaller time frame. You can easily see, you can easily see that. Let me use 2 hours. You can easily see that the market actually touched our area. Let me delete this. Touched this area several times. Here was also, there was like a serious chance actually for the market to push the upside. But on top there, don't forget that we also have a a resistance area, which means that area, you should treat that area as maybe your first CP because there is a chance for the market to do what? To break out there and push the upside. Do you see that? So here it was actually a very nice support for us to say we can buy. It's still a very nice area actually to buy because the market created a sort of a structure before pushing to the upside. Maybe tomorrow, maybe on Monday, maybe the market will be reaching this area, or maybe on Monday, or I mean Monday or Tuesday. So I hope maybe you understand what's really happening. So guys, thank you very much. This is Kenzo, Xtrahot Forex. So thanks to Trader Forex, actually for Nick, for giving me this opportunity to be here. So thank you very much, guys. I'll see you next week, Friday. So thank you.
Thanks again for watching today's show. Our goal at A1 Trading is to continue to share free value to our audience through daily videos and articles, keeping you up to date with the latest market coverage. If you enjoy our content, make sure to subscribe for more. And remember to check the description below if you're looking for a new broker or looking for a trading community to join. From all of us at A1 Trading, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.